Welcome to Fun Tower Kitchen. Here's your host, Rockin Sedaille.
Thank you, Jack. That was Jack Gerling, who lives in Taupo, New Zealand, and he hosts a show on Fun Tower Radio called Jumpin' Jack's Flashbacks, and you can catch him Friday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern and Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, right before the crown jewel of Fun Tower Radio, All Request Saturday nights. And sometimes he even does his show live, which is interesting because his studio is in his bedroom. And he's only 15 years old. And he's a great radio personality. I predict big things for Jack Gerling. By the way, this is my first video where I'm using the Wireless Go system from Rode. And you can see I've got it attached to me here. And the receiver is on the other end on the camera there. So hopefully this will help the quality of my cooking videos. So today, what are we making? We're making meatballs. That's right, meatballs. How do you make meatballs? Meatballs are subjective. I mean, everybody has a different take on meatballs. So I'm gonna show you how I make meatballs. It's not necessarily the right way, but I like them, they taste good. Sebi makes meatballs a certain way. His wife Kula, she makes meatballs, but she doesn't make them the way Sebi makes them. And their daughter, their youngest daughter, she prefers Sebi's meatballs over Kula's. So anyway, let's go over the ingredients. We're going to start off with 3 pounds of lean ground beef. I got this at a store here in Rocky Hill called West Side Market. They have a very good meat department. We have some breadcrumbs. You could use breadcrumbs that you get in the jar, but what I did was I took some Italian bread and I cubed it up, and we're going to soak that in milk, and that'll help to give the meatballs a nice moist taste. You can use garlic powder, onion powder. I prefer to use fresh garlic, and as you know, I make my garlic in advance, and I put it in this jar and some olive oil, and I keep it in the refrigerator, and I scoop it out as I need it. So we're going to use a big helping of this garlic. I have some Parmesan cheese, some Pecorino Romano cheese, some salt and pepper, and some eggs. And Jack Gerling has a problem with our eggs. He said they look funny here in America. I guess apparently in New Zealand they don't have white eggs. Their eggs are green or something over there. I don't know. But anyway, we have brown eggs and we have white eggs. Now these particular eggs are laid by chickens that are, they actually have little stamping devices on their butts. So after they lay an egg, they stamp it. And these are Eggland's best eggs. We have some butter, and also we're going to throw some fresh chopped parsley in there as well. Okay, over to the stove we go. The first thing we want to do is we want to get our garlic going. I love garlic, so as you know, we're going to use a lot of garlic. We have 3 pounds of meat, so that's probably about, I would say, 1/3 of a cup of garlic in the olive oil. Throw some butter in there too. The butter's melting into the garlic olive oil there nicely. I have some sauce simmering here. I'm going to do a separate video on how I make my sauce. We want to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. I'm going to bake my meatballs. Some people fry them on top of the stove. I've done it that way as well. But for me, I prefer baking them because, to be honest with you, this stove is a pain in the you-know-what to clean. So if I can get away with baking stuff instead of frying and getting the same result, I'll do that. So this is coming along nicely. What we're going to do is just as soon as this garlic starts to turn, we don't want it browning, just as soon as it starts to turn, I'm going to splash some water in there and then we're going to put it off to the side and let it cool down because we're going to mix it into our meatball mixture. Okay, our garlic is starting to slightly brown, just a little bit there. We're going to put a little bit of water in there, turn the flame off, and we're going to set that aside and we're going to let that cool down. Okay, over to our big mixing bowl here where we've got our diced up Italian breadcrumbs. I'm going to take some milk. Just going to put enough milk in there to soak up into the bread. Again, there's no science to any of this. You just kind of wing it. That's how I do meatballs. I wing it. And then just kind of, see, that's enough right there, where you just get enough for those breadcrumbs to soak up the milk. You don't want any extra milk floating around in the bottom there. So that's good. Now we're going to take our beef and just break it up into little pieces like this. That way it makes it easier to mix up when we get to that point. We're just going to start throwing stuff together here because that's what meatballs are. Okay, so once that is all broken up, we're going to take our parsley and just kind of rain the parsley over meat like that. We'll go with our pecorino romano. That was probably about a half a cup. About a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You don't want to add too much salt to these meatballs because obviously the cheese has a lot of salt. We do want to put some pepper in there though. Just like that. And then our egg mixture. Just like that. A little bit of salt, not too much. That much. And then we get in there. We get in there with our hands. And we just kind of mix it all together like that. That's really colorful. I'm going to stop right there. Now that we've got the egg mixed in there, we can grab our garlic, butter, olive oil mixture and just put it in there like that. Doesn't that look nice? I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper. Just a little bit more. If you don't want to get your hands all messed up, you could always use a potato masher. Just kind of move it around like that. Get that garlic mixed in there. This is going to be really good, I can tell already. And at this point, I think we're ready to make some meatballs. I've got a foil-lined pizza pan here, and we're just going to start making meatballs. And just, size is totally up to you. I kind of like about that size right there. I'm thinking this is probably going to make about 15, maybe 20 meatballs. Shape up our meatballs really nice. Nice color with that parsley in there. Little chunks of Italian breadcrumbs. These are going to be really good. There's no right way or wrong way, in my opinion, as long as it tastes good. And you have a bunch of happy faces at your dinner table. So we finished forming our meatballs, and Turbo Z is here with me. I told them that I would get about 15 to 20 meatballs. Do you speak Italian?
I learned it in college.
Okay, can you count the meatballs in Italian or?
Oh, no.
How about Spanish? Come on, try it, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Something and 15.
So how many are there?
15.
Wow, that's pretty good. All right, so now we're going to take these meatballs and we're going to put them in the oven at 375 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. How does that sound?
Great. 14. That's the one I forgot.
14. All right, that's 14.
14.
All right. So I'm here with Turbo Z and we're going to try it. I have a philosophy when it comes to meatballs.
Okay.
A good meatball, in my opinion, should stand up on its own.
Oh.
In other words, you shouldn't have to put sauce or anything on it. That's why I have a couple of meatballs here with just a little bit of grated cheese on top. So I thought we would try those first.
Okay.
I have not tried these. He has not tried these. So the reaction on our face, watch the reaction on our face very closely. All right. Go ahead. Ooh, it's nice.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, excellent. So you have spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
I have meatballs and sauce. There's garlic bread there. So you have a piece of garlic bread. I'm gonna make a little sandwich. That's what they say in Italian, they say sandwich. And, you have to drive back to Queens.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drink your wine.
Okay.
All right? Thanks for watching, everybody.